I love making cards for kids, and the new Fishing You the Best stamp set from the Days of Summer Stamp TV kit has the perfect images for kids and adults alike. Today on Stamp TV, I'm going to show you a cute little square card that's a perfect card for kids of all ages. Let me show you the tools and products you need to make this project. First, you're going to need some cardstock, and I'm using the Gina Designs white cardstock, blue raspberry, black onyx, and some of the pattern paper from the Summer Brights pattern paper pack that's included in the Stamp TV kit. You're also going to need some ink, and I'm using the Gina Designs Red Hot ink. I have a couple of stamps from that cute fishy stamp set, and I'm using the little crab stamp along with a greeting that says, "A pinch to grow an inch." I'm going to use a little bit of this white grosgrain ribbon. This is the 3/8 of an inch ribbon, and it also comes in the Days of Summer kit. I have some 1/4 inch pop dots here, and I have a couple circle dies, and these are the standard circles from the Spellbinders Nestabilities collection, and I have both the large and the small sizes here. So I'm using 3 that all nest together. I'm also going to use some adhesive and scissors, and you're going to love how quick and easy this card is to assemble. So let's get started. I'm going to start with that piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the crab. I'm going to ink him up in some of this red hot ink. Now with a solid chunky image like this, sometimes you might have a little bit of a hard time inking it up the very first time. So what I recommend is to ink it up, stamp it on some scrap paper 1 or 2 times, and then it will ink up perfectly every time after that. It could be a little bit of the residue from the manufacturing process, or just the fact that it's a brand new stamp that can make it a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to stamp that image. Get him stamped there. And you can see how nice and solid our ink is. Isn't that beautiful? I'm also going to stamp the greeting right away. And what I've done is I've cut a little piece of cardstock here, and you can see how closely trimmed our stamps are. So they're very easy to line up. What I've done is I've lined up this greeting along one of the lines of this block. You can see there's a line right there. And I've lined it up along with that. So I'm just going to try to follow that line when I stamp it. So excuse my head if it gets into the picture. But I'm going to stamp that right in the center of this little piece of cardstock that I cut. So there we go, a pinch to grow an inch. And I'm going to put that aside because we're going to use that later. My next step is to cut this little guy out using one of those Nestabilities circles dies. And he's going to be in the smallest die. So I'll put these other 2 aside for a second. Let me grab the Cuttlebug here. And I'm going to start with an A and a B plate. And then I'm going to put that piece of cardstock down, and I'm going to line it up so that there's a little bit of extra room on top. So he's more toward the bottom of that circle. And then on top a C plate, and I'm going to cut it. Now I want this particular one to be embossed, so I'm going to just flip it over onto that B plate, and then I'm going to add the rubber mat on top, and another B plate, and then a piece of chipboard for my Cuttlebug, just to give it a little extra pressure. And that can be adjusted according to the needs of your own personal Cuttlebug. You might need a little less pressure, or you might need an additional amount of pressure. So just give it a try first. Okay, so I'm going to pop that out, and that's ready to go. Now my next color is going to be black, so I'm going to go to the next size up, and I have a little scrap of black cardstock here, and I'm going to cut that one out, again using the C plate. So we'll cut that one. And then, here it is. And then the final circle, you can see these 2 layer nicely together. And then the final circle is going to be that larger one. So I'm going to do that one in blue raspberry. Same way, A and B plate, and then the C plate on top. And there's my final circle. So we'll get the Cuttlebug out of the way, and we'll begin to assemble this fun little card. Now I'm going to adhere these 3 circles together using a little bit of adhesive. I don't need a lot. Get that started again there. There we go. There's the first one. And now I will adhere the black one onto the blue raspberry one. And I like using circles like this, especially in this case. Kind of reminds me of a portal from a ship, a little porthole that you would look out if you were on a cruise ship or a boat. And so sea life works so cute with that. Now I'm going to take this red bubbly paper from the Summer Brights collection. And that collection is sold separately, so if you just want some fun summer patterned paper, that's a nice one to add to your collection. And I'm going to adhere that onto this piece of black onyx cardstock, and then add a little strip of white ribbon to play up on the white in the focal image and in the bubbles. So that's just going to go right across the center of the card, since the circle is going to be in the center as well. And I'm going to do that by flipping it over and adding a little bit of tape there and there, and then just checking it for position. Looks like this could go up just a little higher on this side. There we go. So there is my ribbon, and I'm just going to check the look and make sure it looks good together, and that looks pretty good. I could probably move it down a little, and that's easy to do. If you've already stuck it there, don't worry about it. You can move it down, just detach it there, and that looks a little bit better. A little bit more in the center, and this panel is going to go on top of this blue raspberry card base. And I always like to add a little bit extra. That ribbon's a little fuzzy there. I like to add a little bit extra to the ribbon just to make sure that that ribbon doesn't come apart once this part of the card is secured. Now I'm going to add the focal image. And this little guy is going to be adhered using some of these 1/4-inch pop dots. But before I do that, I'm going to grab that greeting, and I'm going to layer that greeting onto a little piece of blue raspberry as well. And he is just all set up to hold a little sign. So he's going to get to hold this. So I'll put a little adhesive on the back, and before I put this all together, I'm going to position this so it looks like it's in his little claws, like that. And there we have a pinch to grow an inch. That's so cute. I love that little greeting. Perfect for a kid. Okay, so now I'm going to put 2 pop dots on the top and 2 pop dots on the bottom. And get rid of those little covers on them. And then this whole panel is going to sit right in the center of that card base. And there is my little Happy Crab birthday card. When making cards for kids, remember to keep it fun and simple with whimsical images and lots of bold, bright colors.